Manchester City have just been knocked out by Newcastle in the Carabao Cup. Is there anything we should worry about moving on this season? No. Obviously, this was not something that Guardiola cared about, because even in the press conference before the game, when they asked him about, is he going to start Calvin Phillips? Is it going to be a harder game because Rodri is going to be absent? He said he was not going to risk his players for this competition. So it's pretty obvious that this competition, they do not care about it. They've already won it 4 times. Even last year, they got knocked out by Southampton. The first half was really dominated, over 70% of possession for Man City. Of course, they did not create a lot of chances, but even the few chances they created, they couldn't convert them. In the lineup, they had a few young players that barely have any experience. Oscar Bob, Rico Lewis, I know he played last year, but still, he was not gonna make Man City win this game today. Sergio Gomez, another one, he's very good, but he hasn't been playing a lot of minutes to be super effective today. Now, Newcastle in the first half, they were not very good whenever they got the ball. They could not move past Man City's midfield. They could not create any chances, and the only one they got, they missed it. Of course, it was a good save from the goalkeeper, but I think Murphy could have done better. Moving on to the second half, I thought Man City were going to bring on experienced players like Haaland, even Doku, because Grealish in the first half was not as effective. But I was surprised that Oscar Bob stayed on, even though he was very good in the first half, even in the second half at times, but you could tell 90 minutes for these young players was too much. And the intensity that Newcastle threw at them from the beginning of the second half, they could not cope with it, and that's why Newcastle found a way to score a goal very early in the second half. In the second half, it was even harder for Man City to create any chances. I was like, man, what is Guardiola gonna do? And then I saw Walker and Haaland warming up. I was like, okay, things might change. He changed his mind. He did not bring him on. Instead, he brought on Doku and Matheus Nunes, 2 new players of the team. So obviously, he did not want to risk his more experienced players because there's a lot of games coming. And what shocked me the most is when Guardiola looked like he wanted to win the game. But then he brought Foden in the place of Julian Alvarez instead of Haaland. I was like, play Haaland for like 10-20 minutes. It might help, but he didn't. But Doku coming on, he was very good and brought something different. There was a few chances in the second half, but overall in this whole game, Man City were not creative enough. They had Bob, it's just all these players, they haven't been playing together. A lot of them were inexperienced, and you could tell in the second half that Newcastle ate them up with the intensity they brought, and even just the willingness to win was not too much in Manchester City. They didn't try enough. They really didn't. Calvin Phillips there, I thought he played a good first half. Second half though, he was losing it. He was committing too many fouls, not disciplined enough. But I think he'll be fine for the game against Arsenal. I think he'll be fine. Kovacic just came back, did not play a spectacular game, but he was not too bad also. But I wish Rico Lewis did not make that mistake. The ball was coming to him. He jumped and let it go, not knowing that there was a defender behind him. And that's why I talked about experience earlier. Rico Lewis in this game was not effective enough. I do not like to see him play on the wings. As a right back, I don't think it's his best position. I think he's better when he's playing in a double pivot or anywhere in the midfield than when he's playing in the right back position, because he's not fast enough, physical enough. He's just like, I don't know. I think he's better when he's playing in the midfield and have more freedom and doesn't have to defend too much. Honestly, there was not an outstanding player in this game. Maybe from Newcastle sides, Isaac, he scored the goal. But from Manchester City, no. There's nobody played a game where like, wow. At first, I thought it was going to be Calvin Phillips, But this game was decent, not the best. I wanted this game to be more spectacular, but it's Carabao Cup, and I don't think so many people care about it like that. To the point where even Newcastle were doing rotation today. But I thought it was going to be an easy win for Man City. Seeing the lineup that Newcastle brought, they had like a few young players in there, and you could see that in the first half they did not give their all, but in the second half when they came back, they were like, we're going for it, and they ate Man City up with the intensity. It was enough for them to get a goal in the victory. But Man City could not react and could not score any goals. Barely created any chances in that second half. But yeah, man, let me know what you thought about this game. Leave a comment, like, and if you haven't subscribed, make sure you do. And I'll see y'all later.